perfect dog. He's dog friendly, he loves adventures, he's great off leash, and he also loves snuggles and cuddling up on the couch and just hanging out after a long day. Here's the negative stuff. Larry got into a freak accident at a meet and greet recently, leading to a $12,000 surgery. This poor boy has had bad luck. His family also chose to rehome him after 6 years of having him. There's some more bad luck. And then lastly, a family was really interested in him, and we recently got a call saying they can't move forward because that person also got into a pretty bad accident. And we've got 3 things. So now Larry's done with the bad luck. We need a forever home for this guy. He's been living in a kennel for 5 months. Sometimes he's a hard time at meet and greets because he gets so excited coming out of the kennel that he just barks and says hi to everyone. Totally friendly, a little quirky, and sometimes hard.
Well, hi, everybody. There we are. Almost caught me napping, didn't you?
Well, Mortimer's
what an awesome show we have today. Right from the beginning, isn't it? I'm excited. I'm really excited. We've got the description mentioned we've got some big news out of Montana. And boy, I'll tell you, it doesn't get any better than hearing it right from the newsmaker. You agree? Everybody, I want you to welcome Dane and Rachel. They are the new leadership at Great Pyrenees Rescue Montana. Carol retired. And you guys have your hands full, don't you?
Yes,
we do.
Yeah. It's definitely super exciting.
So you're here because we wanted to give you the opportunity to get a little more personal with the people that volunteer there and are interested in volunteering. And maybe I can talk you into maybe sharing a little bit of your vision.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. We'll start with how we kind of got involved with Great Pyrenees Rescue.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. You're probably the youngest directors of any of the Great Pyrenees Rescues in the country.
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
We got involved with Great Pyrenees Rescue because we fostered and adopted one of their boys. His name was Yogi. We adopted him about a year ago.
And I remember Yogi.
Yeah, he was an old boy who had a pretty rough life. He had gotten hit by a car at one point.
Wow.
And didn't get any medical attention. And so he broke both of his back legs, and they just grew back like that. And
yep, so I remember Yogi.
Yeah. And he was eventually just dropped at his farm and just left there. And anyway, it was a pretty bad situation, and he had a tough life. But when he came to us, he was still just like an amazing dog.
Yeah.
And
well, Great Pyrenees or not, whichever breed, we know they're amazing.
Yes. Yeah. And we got him to actually be a guardian dog, which is what he was in his previous life.
A working dog.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And yeah, we got 2 puppy girls as well. And so he also mentored them into being guardian dogs as well.
They kind of brought life back into him too. They think he was about 10 to 14-ish when they had rescued him originally. And when he met the puppies, it seemed like he got a little more pep in his step. He really enjoyed when them around.
I do want to mention that Great Pyrenees Rescue Montana is probably the only Great Pyrenees Rescue that actually has a working dog application for adoption. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. if
Blue
anybody-
Bonnet does too, Steve. Blue
That's right,
Bonnet.
Blue Bonnet. Yeah, I forgot about Blue Bonnet. Yes, but yeah, that and there's Roman. Say hi, Roman. Where'd he go? I don't know where I put him.
He's in
There he
there.
is up there. Roman, this is Dane and Rachel. They're the new leadership at the Great Pyrenees Rescue Montana. But anyway, they were talking. I interrupted. Sorry.
You're all good. But that's
Now
how
you have a facility, don't you? I'm sorry, I did it again.
you're just fine.
That's kind of how we got all started in the dog world. A few years back, we started a dog daycare and boarding facility in Missoula, and kind of just fell in love with taking care of other people's dogs. And it's not a traditional boarding facility. It's more like dog focused and dogs playing with other dogs. They aren't just stuck in a concrete cell all day.
Like a doggy daycare.
Yeah, yep. They're out playing, having fun, and all that stuff. And yeah,
Wow.
started with that. We have a little ranch, and that's why we ended up getting the
working
livestock guardian dogs. And
Do you have livestock? Apparently.
Nigerian dwarf goats that they mostly watch out for.
Okie dokie. Now, just to make a statement, you know these are sheep dogs, right? Okay, I won't know. Wow.
We put
Now,
a couple of extra fur coats on the goats, so they would,
Your facility, is that going to be used at the rescue also?
So we currently use the facility for the rescue in bits and pieces. And we did this before we were the presidents as well. We actually offered the facility for the rescue's use.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
To put some of the Pyrenees that were like really good with other dogs, which isn't always 100% of Pyrenees. So but we pretty consistently had Pyrenees at our place from the rescue.
That's awesome.
And
sounds like you've got good experience with the breed and you know their history, maybe.
Yes. Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah. It is really important, especially when you are a breed specific rescue like ours, and you are really trying to find a good match for those dogs. And
yes.
That is 100% what we are about.
And the director, the founder of the Great Pyrenees Rescue Society, she's got golden fingers like that. And she's just got that gift. Melise does. And she's just amazing at finding the good match. Because what the dog they apply for may not be the match. So obviously they have a lot of dogs. You probably have a lot of dogs. This is so cool. I'm so excited. By the way, it's nice to meet you. This is the first time I've met him also.
Yeah, good to meet you too, Steve.
You as well.
I kind of elbowed my way in when somebody posted something on the page, and I said, welcome. I thought it was exciting.
Yeah.
And do you have a vision or goals that you want to achieve and take the rescue beyond where it's at right now?
Yeah, so our vision and kind of what we're in the process of right now. Sorry, this is Murphy, one of our dogs. He decided to intrude in the meeting.
All breeds are welcome here.
But yeah, we're working on actually getting a building finally. Yeah, so
wow.
Central location. We'll still utilize fosters and things like that, but we'll be able to take in more dogs, really learn their personalities, get them. What's been the toughest part sometimes is we use a lot of boarding facilities, and they obviously need vaccines and things like that before being able to board in certain places.
Right, that's a problem sometimes. You get a dog at midnight, where are you going to find a vet open?
Yeah, exactly. So
Get it.
with this, it'll be easier of like, we can have a home base, get them all vetted, get them spayed and neutered or any medical treatment that they need, and just have to use it'll just be a lot more convenient, easier, central location. And we hope to put out kind of like a volunteer schedule to have people come out in shifts or even just for a walk or
Walk dogs and pick up poop, master pooper scoopers.
yeah.
Well, that's your guys' title, master pooper scoopers, if you're going
It
to be
really
on site.
is.
Wow, this is amazing. So it sounds like you'll be able to do something similar that GPRS does. Every dog goes through headquarters so she can vet them and address whatever unwanted behaviors they have, and then they move from headquarters to a foster, or they can be adopted out of headquarters.
Yeah.
They can cat test them and obviously dog test them.
Yeah, and we have we'll probably start guardian testing them too. So we have ducks and
Because
goats.
you do place working dogs, yes.
Yeah. And then we also have cows and horse here too. So just kind of see what their overall temperament is of can they live with any of these or none of these. So
You said you had cows at board?
on
there
our
are.
I thought I heard you say cows. Oh, wow, somebody's hard up here. Now, anybody that applies to adopt, and you've probably experienced it, when you apply to adopt, it seems like you're having to pry that dog out of the rescue's cold, dead hands, doesn't it?
Well, hopefully that's not how it feels, but
Well, but it's tough to get a dog because you have no intention of sending them back to a similar situation they came from.
100%.
So,
Yeah.
yes, and that can get tricky sometimes, can it?
Yeah, it can. Like we talked about, finding that right fit is so
Mhm.
important, and making sure that they have everything that they need to make sure that they can take care of a Great Pyrenees effectively is also really important. You need good fencing or a good way to contain the dog. You need to
That's
have
right.
space to be able to let a Pyrenees be a Pyrenees per se, or the willingness to.
And if you have to teach them something, you got to do it right.
Yeah.
And if it has like specific issues, like resource guarding is obviously very common.
Well, yeah, thank you for saying that.
Yeah,
Me and Roman's been saying that for years.
it is. With
Well,
Pyrenees,
it's natural. They're going to guard their food. It's vital to their survival.
Yeah.
it makes sense because like you said, they're a working breed, they're a guarding breed, so they
Yep. That's right. And a
naturally.
lot of times, time will make adjustments for you because we don't want them guarding food against you. Because if you take their food out to them, you don't want them to eat you. So, but usually we don't have to do anything with that. And when we do, there's so many different ways we can address that.
Yeah. So experience with that is a huge plus. And, with some dogs that have shown resource guarding, it's a must. So, yeah.
Yeah. I like these guys. I like these two, Roman. I do. Boy, I tell you, that's so awesome. Now, and now Roman is a for hire behavior consultant. So, he's also at your disposal. I think he gives rescues a very good price. In fact, I remember a couple of times a few years ago, I asked him, "You need me to buy you lunch, or you got more free clients than you do paid clients?" He cares about the dogs.
Yeah. That's
Good.
Yep.
awesome.
We will
He
definitely
really does.
Yeah.
But he still does it for a living. Okay.
Yeah.
And he's good. So now, wow, this is amazing. Now, wow, I mean, a building. So you're going to add a building to your facility, or is it going to be a different place?
So it'll be separate just to make sure. So our boarding facility has like pretty strict kennel restrictions of like dogs need to be vaccinated and things like that. So
Right,
it'll be
right.
separate off of that just to keep all the dogs safe on the property.
Especially kennel cough, because that's airborne, that's ground borne. I think it tunnels through the ground sometimes. But with younger dogs and just regular adult healthy dogs, it's not deadly. So it's just a pest.
Yeah.
And it makes them not feel good. We don't want them to get it.
Yeah.
Now you're in Montana. You don't have a whole lot of heartworm up there, do you?
No, not really.
Yeah, not something thankfully we deal with.
Yeah.
But and that's big in the South. What percentage of dogs that you guys take in, Melanie and Sydney, that are heartworm positive? About 90% of them.
I don't know the percentage, but it can be a lot.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
and it's lately we've had a significant amount of dogs that
Yeah.
have heartworm. So it's just
Now,
something
one
that
of the
we have
things-
to manage.
Do you plan on keeping your relationship with the other rescues that you guys have this bond with that makes you probably the mightiest rescues I know?
Yeah, we definitely do. We're working with the Utah Rescue right now to bring
Rebecca and Sarah and them.
Yeah. And then Unega, we're still in contact.
Unega, Roman's been there in Idaho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And currently we're still working with a lot of California, not per se Great Pyrenees all the time, but shelters
Okay.
and animal control and things to pull out
Yeah.
there too.
You know, way back when I got my first Great Pyrenees, and it was either late 1984 or early 1985. My opinion's one, my wife's another. And, but basically 40 years ago, there were no Great Pyrenees in Southern California until I took mine for a walk. They came out of the woodwork.
So you
And so, but anyway, that wow, this is so exciting, and thank you for coming on. And for anybody watching, right there is their website. If and their logo is got a Great Pyrenees in it. So
Right there.
oh, there it is, right there. I like that one. I like that. That's the one Ellen created. I like that one too.
Yeah.
The other one was a little sentimental. When I talked to Carol, she said it was actually the son of a volunteer that drew that dog in the center of her logo. Though, and her and I designed that and put it together. That's why I had the vector file. But I suck at vector files. It took me 16
Well,
years to
thank
learn
you.
Photoshop. So
Thank you so much for coming on, you two.
yes, and I know you guys are really
Yeah,
really
you're-
busy. We're gonna let you go, but man,
Yeah.
thank you it's very nice to meet you, and hopefully we can talk again at some point. Maybe you can bring some dogs on.
Yeah,
that
that'd
would
be
be
great.
great.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
great connecting
Yeah.
with you guys all.
The Montana Rescue used to have their own show on Saturdays
Oh,
because the
really?
Sunday schedule just didn't work out for the Montana Volunteers.
Mm.
So we said, okay, we'll do one for Saturday for you,
Yeah.
and
Well,
we did. So
we hope to be on definitely more then. Maybe not have
Yeah.
our own
Awesome.
show, but definitely be
Awesome.
on more.
all right, if you want to stay for a little bit, I'll put you off to the side like this, but we got to move forward here. And
All right.
who are we going to do next, Sydney?
Oh, it's puppy time.
It's puppy time. Okay. Well, I'm going to give Dane and Rachel a chance to gracefully exit the facility if they want. And because I'm going to play a video, I'm
Yeah.
going to play one of the puppy videos. Which one do you want to bring up first? It doesn't matter. They're brothers. Hi, Jamie.
Hey, when I turn this
I'm
camera around, you're gonna see they're crashed now while they were waiting.
Really, puppies aren't bouncing off the walls?
No, they here. Now I know how to turn around the camera.
Okay.
Nobody
Without
comes to see my face.
Oh my goodness. I've never seen puppies lay down like that on this show and
I
just be
know.
calm.
Well, I kept him outside too because I didn't. They were sleeping inside, and I coaxed them outside. They were playing a minute ago. That
Okay, just
I
out of
let-
curiosity, I'm just going to ask this question. Counting those 2 puppies, how many dogs do you have?
So, and I also have another foster puppy through another organization.
Right? Yep.
Yeah, 3 little pitties. So, so I have, well, now I have 6.
Okay. I thought you had more.
Yeah. So Lily Mae is my youngest. She's the one that plays with them all the time. She'll be 9 months on the 9th. So
Okay.
yeah.
And this is Lily Mae in the video here, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
Now that's Judd. He was supposed to be the one that was standoffish. Well, they fixed that problem, didn't they?
Yeah, and he does not, and this is Judd right here, and he does not want to come in at night. So
Oh,
so I let him run around, like until 8:30. I put him in their crate for a little while, and then I bring him back out and let him run around till I go to bed till like 10. They're so good. They're not mouthy.
they
at all.
are, aren't they?
I know, like you're sleeping. This is
And you
Judd.
certainly can tell they're siblings.
Yeah, so funny. Judd has these I call sleepy eyes. So even if the collars came off, I know the difference between the two.
Yeah,
And this is
I read a comment because one of them chewed the other's collar off, and you had because you could tell
Yeah,
them the
so I
difference in
bought-
color.
yeah. I bought new collars for them, little martingale collars.
Mhm.
And I bought one for my other foster too, but these two chewed it off of him, so he doesn't have one now. But
Puppies chew though.
yes, they do. So this is why I have no cushions anymore. I brought all my furniture in the garage.
You have a new vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, I use a shop vac outside, but
Okay.
I
Who
know
was that 8-year vacuum cleaner cord? Was that
that was
Frida?
Lulu. That was Lulu.
Lulu. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's Judd. He's such a good boy. They're really, really great dogs. Affectionate. I know. Come on. Wake up. You're not going to wake
Oh,
up.
that's a question that Jamie and Sydney's going to have to answer. Do you have transport to Maine or somewhere close?
It's possible. We would have to look into it. We use
Because the
different
dogs are in Washington State. That could
Yeah,
be
I
an
mean
issue.
those guys we wouldn't, but we would transport from options.
They
from
have
Texas.
I think some of their siblings are still at headquarters, aren't they?
They are. Yep.
There's
But-
4 of them.
Oh, Massachusetts. I
Oh, Massachusetts.
yeah,
Sydney?
I still think
I had an app in Massachusetts, a couple of them, and they drove. They had to drive a little bit.
Okay.
yeah.
And
see,
most
sometimes-
adopters do meet the transport somewhere, but
Yeah, because they follow a route, but yeah, and sometimes, I mean, depending on how far away and transport can't always get really close because they've got a lot of stops to make. So sometimes an adopter has to drive 4 hours to meet them.
and in most
depending on
cases,
where they
from
are.
a behavior standpoint, you want to do that. That's a good way to start your solid relationship right there. Unless he throws up in the car, that would suck.
Oh my God, these guys are never sleeping. I swear to God. Like,
Wait a minute, I just saw him sleep.
I know. I'm just.
So I just got a message that we are not necessarily able to go to Massachusetts as
Oh,
like we can't guarantee that we can get it.
Massachusetts has its own rules, and you have to be qualified in order to do business there with dogs from out of state, right?
I'm sorry, Steve, you were muffled.
Oh, well, that's figures. Then I'll shut up. Anyway, they're not. I don't think they have authority to work in Massachusetts. I think they do.
Your
That might
mic
be what it
is
is.
really
Yeah, very
muffled all of a
muffled.
sudden. I don't know what happened.
Okay, you take over.
Oh,
I'll
there
be
you go.
back.
Hear you. I can hear you.
Now you're back. So
I turned it up.
Yeah. So these boys, so they mostly play with Lily Mae, who is less than a year old.
Yeah.
Do they have other, and it's two boys, do they have other of your dogs? Because you have dogs of various ages. You have a couple younger ones
they
too.
mostly Riley's the only one that I keep separate because in my house. So because also little puppies chew up things. I have a like fencing, kind of like what my puppy pen is made out of. I just bought some more things and I cordon off my living space so they can run around in the dining room, in the kitchen, and come outside. Because I work from home, so it's and then I keep an eye on them. Then they just get tired, and then I put them back in their crate and the other puppy in the puppy pen, and they go out, run around, sleep, run around, sleep. That's
How old are they?
They are. Oh my God! I should have got their paperwork. So they're about
3.5 months, I think.
3.5 months. Yeah, I got obviously we have their birth date on the paperwork. I can't remember
Right.
what that was, but yeah, so they're super, super sweet. What's interesting, they're not mouthy at all. Not at all.
Really?
No.
Because
And-
they're teaching each other that those needle teeth hurt.
Yeah, because they have. Look at they bring out every toy possible, and those aren't my slippers, Steve. These are. It was funny because I forgot to tell you that.
Well, I just
but
caught. They looked like I couldn't tell if they were socks or slippers.
No, they're called. I just bought some more on Amazon. They're toys with stuffies with no stuffing, unstuffable.
Oh, they're actually for the dogs?
Yeah. So.
Oh,
yeah.
I like my perception though.
I know. No, my slippers are on my feet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so they play tug of wars. They're great toys. Even Lily Mae plays tug of war with them and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah. So these guys, like little packs of puppies do a lot of things, right? I came out the other day, my fault, because I keep an eye on them. I keep coming out if they're playing outside, and my cushion on my chair, my like everything, and I'm like, all right, man, I've had that for a long time. That's okay. I'll get new furniture next summer. But
Well,
Now,
and I
these
think,
puppies-
Jamie, this is a perfect example of why they need they need another dog in the home
yeah.
as a playmate, to get their wiggles out and because and to teach them things too, to help teach them boundaries on the dog level. But they do
Usually
need a dog to play
mouthing.
with, and sometimes people apply, they have a super senior that they think that is probably gonna, say a final goodbye in a year or so they get a puppy, and then that puppy just annoys the heck out of that poor senior dog. And so that's why in our applications, if you apply for a puppy, we want you to have a dog that's, an adult is great, but one that's young enough that will play and entertain and teach the puppy.
And have enough energy to keep up somewhat.
Yes.
well, even not, it depends on the dog. Like B doesn't do anything, but she doesn't want to play with them, and she's only a little over 2. So it also
Right.
depends on the dog.
Yeah.
Now,
not all
these
dogs-
their personalities were the same the day you got them, right?
Yeah. B plays with the other dogs, but she'll just if the puppies, even Lily Mae comes near her, she's just like rah, 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 rah. Like she just doesn't, I don't know, but she doesn't.
No,
Oh,
and Lily Mae's
cuddling.
Lily
That
Mae's a
is so
GPRS
cute.
alumni.
They're cuddling.
Look
That's
at that.
the cutest thing ever.
This
Yeah,
segment will go up on their bio, just so you know.
I know. So it is fun. Oh my God, they're so cute. At one point, the longer I have them, I might have to separate them. It's funny.
You
all
don't
these
want them
puppies-
together too long, right?
Yeah. I mean, I have an extra large crate that they both sleep in, and they're they have never. I've had puppies this young before, and they've gone to the bathroom in the crate. They have never
Wow.
ever gone to the bathroom in the crate. I go to bed. I do get up because I start work at 6, so I get up 5:15. My dogs go out. I put the gate thing up, and then they come out with Lily Mae and my other foster, and run around for a while. So they
Wow.
are so, and they have little double dew claws on the back of their feet.
I saw that. I thought
They
I
do.
did.
They have cute little double dew claws.
They are. They're so cute. But
They are.
Jamie, we got to move forward. We don't want
Yep.
George. He's not a senior yet. We don't want him to become a senior while he's waiting. Okay.
I know, and I'm going to get these guys in the crate, and I wish I could stay on, but I'm going to go walk.
I
some
know you.
dogs.
I know you have to go too. So
Yeah,
Thank you
wow.
so much,
Lots
Jamie.
of
Thank you
dogs.
so much.
Absolutely.
Right.
You guys have
Wow.
have fun. All right, thank you guys.
Bye.
Okay, Jamie. Hey, nice work, Jamie. Now, we got. Well, we're going to bring him up. He doesn't really need much of an introduction. This is George, and whoops, I got to find George again. There he is. I think there's George. Hi, Sherry.
Hello.
Now your guy does a lot of that right there, doesn't he? Nice and mellow. He's been there, done it, seen it all, and no longer cares about it, right?
You are so right. And the more I think about it, he is the perfect dog. He does not get on the furniture. He does not have accidents in the house. He doesn't even really care to go outside, just to go to the restroom and come back in. He gets along with everybody, all animals, cats, dogs. I have a cat who loves him.
Looks like he loves that dog bed.
He does. He does. And it's funny because half the time his head's hanging off of it when he's sleeping.
So how long have you had him? You haven't had him all that long, have you?
I think I've had George about a month now.
Okay.
And when I first got him, I took him to get his nails clipped because he struggled with only wanting to be on the carpet or rugs. I have no carpet in my house. I have rugs.
Yeah, sure footing. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, and then I realized even in my master bedroom, I had to move some of my runners in there because it's just slippery for him. So
At least you had runners to put down.
yeah, exactly. And so if you're going to adopt him, you'll just want to buy some rugs that he can kind of leverage on.
Mhm. And it's not just him. Many peers are like that.
Yeah. Mine, I think, are just used to it. He was the only one. At first, I thought it was just because his nails were too long. But he's big. He's really tall. And his legs are
Is
very
he Akbash?
Um,
I can't tell from here.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. He's good looking. I can see that part.
Yeah, he's very handsome. He's very fluffy. He does not have dew claws. I think they were removed
Okay.
Wow.
from him.
Okay,
I
And
did
that's
say-
and that's something that we do not ever recommend.
No, those are attached to the bone. Okay. There's a tendon in there, and there's actually nerve endings in there. They've discovered now.
Yeah. I noticed that immediately when I picked him up because I always check their nails to make sure that they don't need them cut right away or anything. And I noticed that immediately.
Wow.
Yeah,
But
and you know, just because they're there and they're big doesn't mean they're going to catch on everything. Okay.
yeah,
But that's the only reason a rescue will say, yeah, let's remove it if it's medically necessary. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Because those are there for a reason.
He's not food aggressive. He only drinks ice cold water with ice cubes. I'm sorry.
I got one like that.
Oh my goodness. And now my dogs won't drink out of their water bowl. They only drink out of the ice cold water.
Oh, wow.
George.
Do what I did. I bought one of those countertop ice makers.
I have the one in the refrigerator, whatever that.
Oh, I don't have
yeah.
one.
He is, rotten. He has spoiled my dogs. But I'm telling you, he is the best. He is no trouble at all. When he wants to come in and you don't let him in, he will bark to let you know that you left him outside.
Good.
He gets along with all dogs.
Can he be an only dog in somebody's home?
Yes, I believe he can.
Okay.
Because he's so chill.
Yeah, but he can also live with another dog too, right?
Absolutely. I had the other day I had Stella and Elias that I took down to George, and he loved both of them. He really loves Stella.
Wow.
But he just loves, and I have two that are older, and one of the things is he likes kids, and I have grandkids. He's just tall, so sometimes he might bump into them and knock them over, but nothing intentional. He doesn't get crazy excited like to where he gets out of control. He's just big.
Yeah, he's a big
Right.
boy. So Sherry, I think you said he's about 130 pounds.
Yes, and tall.
So, yeah. So, and he's about 7 years old. So, he looks great. Like his body composition looks really good. And there are a couple of photos of him that we have in his bio, and he just has an amazing grin. It's so
Somebody's treated him well throughout his life.
Which is weird. They found him roaming is what they said. So I don't know what happened. He's been to the groomer and he did really good. He's good in a car. He just lays in the back.
The perfect pair.
He really is. Really is. Hun, George.
So wow, man, Great Pyrenees Rescue Society.org, scrolling across the bottom. That's where George is. And now he's in Texas, right, Sherry? You're in Texas.
Yes.
Okay. And so, and there's transport to different areas of the country. I don't know how many areas. You just fill out the application, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
And he's 7 years old. He's great.
Yeah, he is.
He'll be a senior in one more year, and seniors are the best.
Yeah. He is already the best. Hun, George.
Whoever adopts George is going to really hit the jackpot.
Now,
oh boy, he's getting up.
He does move. See, he can walk. He can walk.
Look how long his legs are. Like they're so skinny.
Yeah, that's not an Akbash. That's the Great Pyrenees.
Oh, beautiful boy.
He is gorgeous. Look at them eyes. His personality is all in his eyes. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And
the breed's an emotional breed anyway.
He loves to give kisses.
Aw.
Wow.
And
somebody's really treated him good.
Yep. Well, yeah, I have to give him ice water to get him to drink. The things we do, right?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, my Kuvaz is like that.
Yeah, and I have an older peer that has really bad arthritis. So now George gets a tub of wet food like twice a day because I have to give him my other one some medicine. So George is getting really spoiled.
Now, you said he loves people. Do you have a cat by any chance?
I do. And
And he's
he likes my cat. My cat likes him, and my
wow.
cat doesn't like
Okay,
every.
I'm going to really go out on a limb. Do you have any children that have come around?
Oh yeah, I have grandkids. Yeah, and other
Wow.
dogs. Yeah, he's great.
Perfect pair.
Yeah.
I might want him. Would you be willing to take a trade in? No, I'm kidding. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
I have 5. All right. So I think I'm good. Boy, he's gorgeous.
Yeah,
Man,
he
is he good
is.
Yeah.
looking. Great Pyrenees Rescue Society. Don't waste time on applying. Okay. Now with puppies, we do want to make a valid point here that, and I read this on Judd's webpage. Puppies aren't first come, first serve. They are as per good fit. Okay. And that's what I read. Am I close, Sydney?
Yep.
Okay. Susan, he does sound perfect, doesn't he? Holy cow. You know, rescues got quite a rescues. Most of the Great Pyrenees rescues, they've got a lot of dogs that come in that makes you wonder who didn't want this dog. You know?
Yeah, especially for as old as he is. That's what breaks my heart is him being just older.
So somebody's had him and took good care of him, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does take a little bit to get acclimated.
Well, yeah, because you moved him and they do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
They don't know who you are, where they are, or anything.
Yeah. But now
Wow.
that he's pretty acclimated, he does great.
Yeah. Now, not too long ago, Roman actually did a topic on that. Okay, right here on the show. And if you go to GPRS's YouTube channel, you can find it because Facebook deletes live videos after 30 days now. But we got everything on YouTube at GPRS from the start. Okay?
Yep.
And so, wow, ain't that something? Speaking of Roman's got a topic today. Thank you so much, Sherry, for coming on again.
My pleasure.
You're going to pretty soon. We'll just give you a login. What do you think?
A regular.
Yeah, well, that's okay because you keep getting dogs. You keep saving dogs and finding them homes.
Yeah. I'd keep them all if I could. My husband would kill me, but yes.
Well, Jamie seems to be doing that, and she doesn't have a husband to worry about, so she can do what she wants. Wow. Dane with the Montana Rescue had made a statement that is actually Roman's topic today, that food aggression. And his comment was, why is everybody surprised that, they expect it? And why is that, Roman? Why do you have to expect food aggression?
That's a great question. Let's go back a little bit to the previous election when people went to the supermarket and bought rolls of toilet paper. Why toilet paper?
And they bought them, and they bought the stores out.
They were
and
fighting at the counter.
Then hit them. Yeah, they were
paper,
fighting.
right?
You're right. Yeah.
Right. And then
that's
we had
called resource guarding.
And then we had a problem with milk, with baby milk.
Yep.
Right. And there was enough, but not in the shops. And then we could become aggressive. So when
we're worse than the dogs are, humans are.
So
yeah,
resource guarding or food guarding is very natural, and it's not breed related. Any dog, any animal, any species, if you try to take your food away, they're gonna fight for it.
And sometimes it's not even about the food. Sometimes.
Well, let's kind of.
Well, the food's involved. It's another trigger. Yeah.
Now it seems that wolves are not so food guarding as dogs do.
Oh.
Right? So it seems like we bred dogs to be more resource and food guarding than natural occurrent.
And that's our fault, and we blame them.
Yeah, well, the difference is because wolves hunt for food and dogs are opportunistic scavengers. And because they're opportunistic scavengers, they try to get the opportunity to get food, which means there's competition.
Well, they're domesticated and they kind of suck at it anyway.
Right? And since food is rare because dogs don't hunt, they have to find food. And there's find food, somebody else gonna find food. So the first who finds it gets it, which means there's a competition about resources. However, it comes also with an underlying stress, the stress to have food, right? And there's a competition next to you. Well, naturally, you're going to guard it, like your parking spot, like your partner, like your $1,000 on the table, or your wallet, or your phone, right? So this natural occurrent resource guarding, we have to pay attention, because dogs who come from transition, dogs who have past experiences, dogs who have trauma, dogs who are stressed, the first thing that's going to hit them is the belly. And when the belly gets stressed, it thinks, keep your resources because you don't know when you're going to have it next.
Mm-hmm.
And that becomes...
Especially an underweight dog,
right.
emaciated
And so
dog.
we have dogs who have underlying medical conditions. We have dogs who have past trauma, dogs who just relocated. And in that stress situation, the first thing is going to happen is the dog will search for food, right? His body will be hyper alert to keeping food. So it's not about the breed. It's about the dog himself, or the environmental factors and underlying medical conditions. Check that.
Yep.
So there are other
Any
reasons,
breed's going to protect their food. It's just the Great Pyrenees are very good at it.
right?
They
So I have a
intimidate.
checklist that I go through with my clients about resource guarding. The first one is emotional and attachment history. So what's the dog history about trauma? What are the signs of insecure attachment, right? How difficult is a dog to regulate his emotions? And how about the stress? How about the trust and felt safety? So if those in emotional attachment history, we have a problem, we're more likely to see resource guarding or food guarding. The next thing we
What
look
about
for is,
confidence?
well, that comes in with lack of trust.
Okay.
Right? And insecure attachment.
Yep.
And if the dog doesn't have a secure attachment, he's not confident.
Okay.
Now, the next thing we have is environmental and management factors. For example, we have limited access to food, which is literally 100% the case of our home. The food is stored away, it's in the package, it's in the food, you get only once or twice a day. And the next one is exposure to competition. We have the cats running around, we have other dogs being hungry, want to get this food next, high household tension, inconsistent routines, and frequent disruptions also hit that stress level. And then
And
we have,
the sacred space around them.
right? And so we have also the previous punishment, like I punish the dog for showing signs, which means the dog is already stressed if the person is present or children are present. So we have
Right.
kind of like an emotional condition response. I'm resource guarding because there's a person next to me. It's not
Right.
about food, it's about the person, right?
He's not growling because he wants to bite the person or the child. He's growling because he wants you to stay away from his food.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the growling can be simply, I'm uncomfortable. And since you
That
don't
is-
see
yes,
my messages,
agreed.
I growl about it so you can hear it since you're not seeing it, right?
Right.
The next thing that I go into my checklist is the learning and conditioning. Has the dog learned that guarding food makes a threat going away? For example, we usually don't notice it,
Self-rewarding.
but for example, having livestock and having animals at livestock, and we have puppies at livestock, there's a lot of food competition happening there because the little dog has to walk around himself through these big animals, right? And then sometimes the food is not as high quality, so the dogs will try to supplement from other things like goat poop, right? And whatever they can find. And that causes also learning that you have to fight about your food. So if the mother of the dog was resource cutting, the puppy is more likely to show resource cutting later. Then we have the dog's communication are ignored and the agenda is being pushed. So we don't see the puppy get uncomfortable about the kids fiddling around with the dog's football, right? But also we have noticed that we teach the dog how to resource guard. For example, like, pay attention here. What would you do if your dog finds a sock? You resource guard the sock, attack the dog for it, and grab the sock out of his mouth and give him a lecture. You literally teach the dog how to resource guard. And we don't notice it until it's too late. And then we say, why is the dog resource guarding? Because you showed him every time your dog has something in his mouth, you take it away. And
Yeah,
then the
he
other part
loses
is
something when you approach him too.
right. And so the dog has already this biased thinking. We approach to take things away. We are the takers, not the givers. And the other part is there is no clear enforcement history about teaching the dog to leave it or go get it, which means we're not sure that we're teaching the dog correctly and the dog gets the wrong message. Another factor that I have to check out from a list is health and physiological contributions, pain, discomfort, medical underlying conditions, nutritional imbalance, sleep deprivation, and very, very often people don't feed their dogs enough. Now, especially for guardian breeds, they have a different metabolic system. They need more energy for the work they do, especially in the summer or in the winter. They have a different feeding needs. And we cannot go with a package that is an average. Usually, guardian breeds are hangry all the time because the food is not often given. And because they're big dogs, we try to be a little bit economic, so we're going to go on that minimum level, but that's not enough, right? Some dogs need more food, some dogs need less, and depending on the quality of the food, the nutrient availability is more important than actually what food is in the bag. Because some foods say they have nutrients, but they're not really available, which means the dog is literally hangry all the time.
They process
then-
nutrients out of the food.
Right. And then we have development and genetic background. And yes, early deprivation and lack of positive socialization can be a problem around people and other dogs, right? If we're not properly socialized the dog. But also we have a
Wow.
predisposition for anxiety and being hypervigilant, which our guardian breeds know exactly how to pay attention to little details. Which means, yes, at some point, guardian breeds can be more prone to stress, which leads to resource guarding. But this resource guarding is not because of the breed. Does it make sense?
Well,
And
there's a
then-
lot going on here. I told everybody in the description, you're going to be surprised at what Roman has to say. And holy crap.
Right? Well, yeah, resource guarding is not just a stupid behavior of a dog. And it's not just like it's me about, because I know people kind of try to find resources and everybody says, buy this book, like it's mine.
Yeah.
But the concept is wrong because it's not about the
That
dog.
is concept is wrong. That book was
Right.
written
It's about the
with
dog
old
needs.
techniques.
Right. So we have to think
But
about
what do you do?
Well, the first thing I have to do is step back. If a dog
Thank you.
shows any signs of guarding, be the smart guy, walk away from it. Because you may win the battle, but you're going to lose the war.
Right. See, a lot goes on when you get too close to a dog when they're eating.
Right.
The fear of losing their food and the invasion of their space, and they haven't given you consent because they're eating.
Right. So we noticed earlier the colleagues who overtook the rescue. One things that they always have to evaluate is the dog resource guarding and behavior in the household. So how would I set it up? I would put the dog food on the ground, have the dog access it, and let him seek and find the food. And then in presence of a fake dog, right? Having a dog's presence of a fake dog triggers the somatic response. The body processes the shape of the dog, and you will see the dog will not approach the food bowl. We can make the conclusion the dog has negative experiences with the second dog being
Yep.
present.
One of my fake dogs no longer has a face. He got too close to the food.
Another way we can show it is we're having a dog feed and we approach it and try to find that threshold where the dog stops eating or changes behavior around food. That
Yeah.
distance is an indication where the dog feels safe. There's
And that
something you have
distance
to
is
work on,
important too.
right?
That's very important.
But we have to recognize that a strange dog and a strange person is more likely to show resource guarding than a dog who is comfortable about the people. So the relationship is very important. So I want to give a warning here for people who work in shelters and make evaluation and use different kind of test protocols to evaluate
Yeah.
the dog's resource guarding, which is a finger going towards the food of the dog and the dog attacks it, and then therefore the
Good way
dog
to lose
is
your
not
finger.
comfortable, right? It is a misinformation, and there is no scientific evidence that this is a prediction of how the dog will behave at the out of the shelter. So don't
Right.
rely on those tests because they are not conclusive.
And it's hard to do when a dog's living in a shelter anyway.
Right.
Okay.
But we cannot make a real assessment in a dog living in a shelter in
No.
those stressful positions.
Nope.
That's why foster homes are so important. And facility, as we talked about, with literally dedicated space for those dogs are. There are temperament regulated, there are environmental stress regulated, everything is regulated. It's not a
Yeah.
wild, situation.
I remember when you sold your house in Phoenix and you got that motorhome, you were going up and down the coast, the West Coast, in those states, and teaching and stopping at the shelters and teaching them how to better handle
Yeah.
fearful dogs in that shelter environment.
Right.
So
and people were surprised.
that's important.
Yeah, because people get surprised how different dogs behave when we give them a little bit more time in connecting
Time's good.
with a person. But that's the problem with shelters. They don't have time. They have little bit funds. They have
That's
little
right.
support. Right, everything has to get in and out 3 times
And
a day.
they're
the dogs have to
contracted with
get
the
out.
county. You got to
Yeah.
take this stray dog, and I ain't got room. Well, you better make room.
Yeah, the system is totally wrong set here.
It is. It is. And then we blame dogs when they get scared.
Does anybody have any questions?
I do. I know I had somebody ask me to ask you.
Yeah.
Okay, with the resource guarding, is it a similar situation when they guard toys?
No.
Thank you.
Here's why. Do you guys remember the smoking advertising where people just smoke a cigarette,
I still do.
right? Now, some people smoke because they need it. Some people smoke because convenience. Some people smoke because of prestige or anyway. There's a reason for everybody to do certain things. So we come down to dogs. Sometimes dogs have toys because of comfort,
Calming.
calming. They use that toy as a calming system. So if we take that toy away, and I have a short example I can share with you, then you take away a dog's part of his needs. He needs that toy to calm himself down. For whatever reason, he makes the association of me having that toy, that particular texture, that particular size, that particular flavor, that particular size is important to me. An example, I had a guardian breed that I worked with in the past. He used to resource guard slippers. And the slippers had a specific texture. They were like fluffy and things. He was so aggressive around that slipper, but you could not get in the room if he had that slipper. So we worked on replacing that slipper with another slipper of the same texture, the same size, which was the left side of that slipper. And the dog
Okay.
recognizing that he has another option. So if I would exchange the slipper with the slipper, he will be similar satisfied. But here was the problem. The problem was not the slipper, and the problem was not the dog being resource guarding over the slipper. It was the stress in the household that he needed that slipper to calm himself down. So chewing on that slipper and
Yes.
nipping on that slipper is what calmed himself down. We came to the conclusion that if we managed the environment better and him getting less stressed, he would not protect the slipper anymore. Long story short, we fixed the environment. The dog didn't use the slipper for resource guarding, but we included that slipper in the greeting protocol. New people who came to the house gave that dog that slipper, and the dog will grab the slipper, go back room, and calm himself down. So we use the slipper as a reward system. Later on,
Yes.
since he got used to that, introducing the people bringing him chew toys, we switched to another chew option where the dog could chew on chew sticks, which were actually more yummy. And so we diverted him from resource guarding that into eating this. And guess what happened? And at some point, we offered him the slipper and he growled. And you know why? Because he didn't want to be that part.
I was going to say he didn't want to go in there.
Yeah, I said,
Yeah.
I don't need that. I don't give me that because I'm not
Yeah.
that anymore.
He was
But you-
communicating,
Right.
not wanting to bite.
Right?
A growl is good.
So we were able to remove the slipper. There was not trigger anymore. And we have
Wow.
everything set up in place. Every time he got stressed, we gave him something to chew on. He took the chew, got in the background, chewed himself calm, and that was it. Half an hour later, he was up and running.
Calming. Dogs have numerous ways of self-calming. Okay, you ever taken your Great Pyrenees to the vet, spent $250 to get them looking all pretty? You get them home, they run out in the backyard, start rolling around. That is a calming method. Okay, so groomers are stressful. All right, they're not purposely going out and getting themselves all muddy because they got groomed. They're de-stressing.
One other thing I want to point out, because it's very important, a recent client I had, the dog was resource guarding the area when the owner prepared the food. The dog's stress around feeding time was so high that he was in a completely out of state mindset. So what we did is we introduced him a pre-food, a food that he would eat before feeding time.
Oh, a calming food.
Exactly. So before we actually start the process of feeding, he would get something from a refrigerator that he got busy with eating and calm his system down while waiting for the real food to come.
Right. Isn't this amazing? You don't have to run out of options and surrender your dog. There are more options. There's other people, and there's a way to do this usually. All right. Once the medical is cleared, you got to clear that medical, because a Great Pyrenees that doesn't feel well is a grumpy peer. Okay. And I got to get this of George. There's another dog there. How about that? Wow.
That's his buddy, my lab.
Gotcha. You got a lab that's white?
Yeah. It's funny, all my dogs are white.
You know, I've searched and searched and searched. I can't find any such breed, a breed called the white lab. It's a yellow lab.
Yeah, she's considered yellow, but yeah, she's pretty white. She's 11, so she's up there.
Okay, all right.
But
I will say what I did stumble on in my search. Look up how many different types of Saint Bernards there are.
Oh, it's crazy. I have when we were growing up, friends of ours used to breed them.
Okay. I only figured there was just like one, but no, they got, I forget what they call it. They got a shorter coated one, a smooth. They call them a smooth Saint Bernard, I guess. And then another one, a rough. I forget what it was. I was just flabbergasted. Really? Oh, well. Wow. What a day. Thank you, Roman. That was awesome, because resource guarding is probably the number 2 unwanted behavior, right behind barking. Always remember, folks, dogs bark, and the Great Pyrenees will bark more because they intimidate. They want their presence known, that they don't want you coming over here because they haven't processed it. So they're a suspicious breed. And
I
boy,
said
George is.
sometime- Go ahead.
I said George is a good-looking dog, isn't he?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
At some point, I had a conversation with a colleague, and he told me how tough and how strong and how, very heroic guardian breeds are. And I told him, did you know that the dogs are guardian breeds' main benefit of his purpose, and the main reason why he's so good is because he's so scared? He's scared of losing territory.
They don't show it being scared, but it's fear-based. That
Exactly.
is a
It's fear-based
fail-safe
behavior,
that God put in there.
right? For them to show his fear in form of aggression towards anything that makes him feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. If I had a choice of getting bit by a scared dog or a mad dog, I would take the mad dog any day of the week
Yeah.
over a scared dog, because he's fighting for his life.
Mm-hmm.
Pissed off dog's not. Okay. So, in the Great Pyrenees, it's we've read that they have a bite force on one of the formulas of 680 psi. You know, that's a lot, because that same formula put the pit bull at 239. There's different ways they figure this. Yeah. And so that's a lot. That was the third highest in that particular study there. Right. The Kangal was number 1 in most of them. The Kangal was the highest bite force. And some of them got the Cane Corso behind the Pyrenees. Some of them got the Cane Corso in front of the Pyrenees. Either way, they bite hard. if they intend to do harm, they're going to do harm to you. You're not going to stop them. So,
Well, if you
so
want to get
that
rid of
means
the
how many of
predators,
these bites are actually bites?
if you have a predator and you don't break his legs, why fighting with him?
So, you know, the intent, but the Great Pyrenees typically, well, Roman put it in a term that I use. Technically, they're not a lethal breed. Unless you're a wolf trying to eat their sheep, they're not a lethal breed. They intimidate. That's their first line of defense is intimidation, and they're masters at it. They back off grizzly bears through intimidation. So, isn't that amazing? I love this breed. Has it, it does it show I love this breed at all? Wow. Thank you, everybody. Roman, awesome. Nice job once again. All right. And Sherry, and take care of that boy. That boy just did it for me. I'll tell you, I can't keep my eyes off of him.
I know. He's sweet.
Yeah. And don't forget, we got the Great Pyrenees Rescue Montana. Under new leadership, rescues, nobody can own a rescue. It's a nonprofit. They have a new leadership that takes over. Okay. And Carol retired. What's this comment? Oh, this is actually a transport comment. Good afternoon. I'm interested to adopt one of your dogs. I live more than 500 miles away. Do you arrange transportation? Depending on 500 miles away from where, they've got fosters spotted throughout the country. Their headquarters is in Texas, a little bit north of Houston. So they have transport routes because they use paid transport, right? Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, our transporters are independent contractors, so there's the adoption fee, and then there's the transport fee for those who are having their dogs transported. But fill out an application. You know, that's the only way to know.
Oh, I didn't see this comment.
Yeah,
Susan
I
wants
don't
to
think
know-
so. I think that was his name at the shelter. So
No, that was
Okay, all right.
We had to change his name at the shelter. So
Right.
they just automatically gave him George because that's all she could think of at the moment.
Okay. All right. She's interested in Jackson. Isn't that Judd and Journey's brother?
yes.
Okay.
Well, no,
is he
not necessarily. Because we have.
Jackson is because I'm looking at the profile.
Okay.
and she just said that he's in Texas. So
Yeah, but we
I'm
have
a little
other
suspicious.
dogs with J names that are not from the same litter. so
Right.
that's-
And also too, some of those puppies did get adopted, and I don't know which ones. Did I hear that right?
I know some did, but Jackson's profile is still up because I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
So unless it
All
just hasn't been
Okay.
brought down yet.
All right. Okay, then I just asked a question. Is Jackson a puppy that you're looking at?
Yes.
Do you have other dogs named Jackson?
No, we don't. We don't double up on names at the same
Right.
time.
Anyway, that's going to be determined, I think. Sydney, you answer it. What's that determined by? If she's close to a route and how far she can drive, right?
Yeah, it depends on the location of the adopter. You know, we have transports to the Pacific Northwest. We have transports to in the middle of the country and in the East Coast, but we can't go to every single state. So you just have to apply, and then you know.
But they surprise me where they go sometimes, though. Every once in a while.
Yeah. Over the last, few years, we've been able to increase the places that we can transport, which is really wonderful. Because it, gives us a lot more options to get dogs adopted.
Yeah. Sounds like she's interested in Jackson, which is Judd and Journey's sibling.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the show earlier, but we just had their brothers on, his brothers
Yeah,
on.
I do want to reiterate that, puppies need to have an appropriate age, playful dog in the home. So, if you're interested, you need to apply. And
there's a lot of reasons for that rule. There's a lot of reasons for that rule.
So we want everybody to be in a home that's appropriate and is the best home for them, and that's going to be a situation that's ideal for a puppy to grow up and be a healthy adult dog. And we put a lot of thought into the application process, and we have really wonderful screeners who are also,
Absolutely.
like Steve, love the breed and really want to help them find homes.
I like
And
the
they're
fact that you give us an opportunity to speak to the people that want to adopt, because we can ask questions more so than the screener because we're with them every day.
Yes.
And it's helpful.
Yeah.
Place,
I think actually, Sherry, I think you have the final say in an adoption, even in a lot of cases.
Yeah, and I like that. I appreciate that, because I would hate for them to go somewhere they don't belong because the screener maybe didn't know one small detail. Nothing on the screener, because that's not their job.
Right.
So.
Right. All right. She wants to know if there's another Great Pyrenees 10 years old. I don't, probably just go out to Great Pyrenees Rescue Society.org. And if you look under the adult dogs,
No,
I don't know. Sydney may know.
that's that there's already another dog that they have a 10-year-old Great Pyrenees.
Oh, they have a 10-year-old. Okay.
And our screeners will have a real conversation with you. So that's why I keep encouraging you to fill out an application, because our application screeners have a phone call and they actually get to know you. That's part of our application process. So we take this seriously. We work really hard to be doggy matchmakers, and so we really will make sure and get to know the applicants.
Yep, because you're not going to get a dog if they don't give a dog to somebody they don't know. So I wouldn't either. So anyway, you can have one of my children, but you can't have my dogs. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We're on overtime. We can't afford to pay overtime, and the voice, because man, Melanie gets expensive when she charges that overtime. Christmas. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next week. I forget who's coming on next week. I think we have Hamish, Aquila, and Ladybug. I think that's who's coming on next week. And Lisa will be hosting too. So,
yep.
And that's who we have confirmed for now. So I'm excited too. Hamish, I love that dog. He's just a big goofball. And
you need to make sure and call him Aquila, because that's what he
I know it. That's his rescue name. That's
the dog is.
Yeah. I just like Hamish. It's just kind of
we can't confuse people.
But you can't search him under Hamish. You'll never find him is the problem.
Correct.
But we do know that. So anyway, bye everybody. Thanks.
Bye.
See you later. Thanks, Roman.